Hello and welcome to my second match of this season with Rabid. No cage match, just regular old Dominion. We got Goat to start out with, that's pretty exciting, but not a huge amount of other things going on. We're sort of hurting for payload here, I suppose. The only way to gain extra cards is dismantle, which might be worth going for still. Otherwise you can play, obviously you can draw with Menagerie, and Cellar plays well with that, there's no problem there. And plenty of trashing between Goat and Monastery, and Dismantle even. So I mean, I'm certainly inclined to build here. I think you can do some good work with the Dismantle actually here. I finally played a game against the bots the other day where I bought Dismantle and got to use it, so it works. It can be pretty nice once you start. I think probably the best thing Dismantle does is gold into 5 and you replace your gold. I think that's a pretty powerful option, to be honest. So I guess I can kind of see a deck to build, but I'm not entirely sure the opening to get me there. I could open Monastery Vassal. I guess I'm thinking Vassal won't be too bad, but it could be. It could be too bad. Maybe I'll go with Silver Monastery. That seems good enough for me, so that's what I'm going to open with. I hope he had the 5-2. 5-2, well, it's not that bad here actually. You can do an equivalent opening, except that you don't trash an estate. But, I could also just buy the Dismantle, to be honest, which I might actually do that too. I don't really love the estate trash with Dismantle, that move, but I don't hate it either. But I did buy a silver, so maybe I'm not quite into that yet. I'd feel a little better about that if I had gotten the Monastery as my first move. Unless my silver has missed a shuffle, I will have 5. He's going heavy vassals, which I just don't like to depend upon doing that, to be honest. It just frightens me, I suppose is the way to describe it. I don't think it's bad or anything, I just am always pretty worried that I'll miss a bunch, and so I guess if Dismantle collides with Estate and with Monastery, that's a pretty great turn, or potentially a pretty great turn. I went first here. So he's getting royal carriage. The silver is also a pretty good target for dismantle. I think I will get a dismantle here. The goat's not awful. Actually, the goat is awful as a target for dismantle. I could just buy a pixie here. My next hand might activate Menagerie. Or Cellar actually is probably better than a pixie. Well, my Menagerie missed. I needed a copper to be bottom decked, I guess, to activate there. That's a pretty cute thing with Vassal Royal Carriage where you can call the Royal Carriage on the Vassal you just played. It's pretty neat. I will simply have to, I need to pay a little better attention to his turns. I will simply have to hope that I have something like superior draw, and in the end I'm able to beat him with better gains, better trashing, because he's a bit ahead on the economy side of it. Well, considerably ahead on the economy side of it. I'm trying to think here if I want to keep the estate or not. I guess I will. I'm going to trash a copper. It's a little better for the menageries. Here we hit. So far he hasn't pursued draw at all. Mostly just this money, which I would be okay with him staying along that tack. I'll certainly want royal carriages, but I don't need a huge amount. 3 or 4 would be fine if he really rushes those down as a way of, I mean, he can use those royal carriages, I suppose, as a so I can get to the, I need to decide now though what I want to do here. I don't really want to draw the estate, it's not that nice. We'd like to draw gold next turn though. So I think I want to buy a royal carriage here. Yeah, okay, I think I know what I want to do here. This should be pretty nice. So we didn't manage to draw the royal carriage, or a menagerie, but that's life. I will go ahead and plunk the estate now, I think. I would rather not. Well, it's okay to have 2 golds, to be honest. And he's headed in straight for the provinces, which is certainly work for a few turns at least. Okay, that's not great. Really sucks to hit the 2 coppers right away, but I would really like to get to the dismantle. Thank you. The question for me, I guess, is whether I want a cellar or another royal carriage with my buy. I'm for sure going to need a cellar to green here. The royal carriages just play pretty nicely with opening and with having menageries in your opening hands. The main risk right now is drawing the golds a little sooner than I'd like. Like that. I can still rescue this turn, though I don't get to call royal carriage on the dismantle, unfortunately. They'll still get to draw a whole bunch of the deck. I mean, I could buy provinces now. I will have to get a cellar though. So I could either monastery away the goat and the copper now, play with exact change, which is always a little bit scary, but maybe not so bad in my deck. I just increase the chances of chances of having the 2 golds together. And it's not the worst thing to have a loose treasure. Although, I mean, basically, yeah, I mean, I'm not real sure how valuable that actually is versus just having a menagerie in the opening hand. Well, I'm willing to delay the decision a little bit. I don't know if I actually need to buy a province yet. I'm not. He has 3 vassals, 2 merchant ships, and a couple royal carriages. Right? So he's. I don't think he's that I don't think he'll green all that well. And so it's a little questionable for me to buy green now rather than. It's just hard for me to build much beyond a couple dismantle plays. They're really the only things is just to build up these engine pieces more. So I'm not sure. Certainly the royal carriage on the merchant ship is not bad at all for him. That's a little sad. Okay. This is sort of the reason to I'm not sure what I'm gonna say. Probably something nonsensical. I would like a seller now. I could play with more gold. I mean, more menageries isn't bad either. I don't hate just having royal carriages on the mat. I guess I will trash the goat now. Now I have to worry about double provinces in hand and double 2 provinces in hand and 2 whatever they're called, golds. The seller will help some, but it won't help a starting hand that's bad. It wouldn't be crazy to have a vassal in there. Well, this isn't the worst. It's not good, but this is sort of the worst. Or potentially the worst. He doesn't have great money set up right now, or durations or anything. So we'll see what he does. He's just duchy. So I'm really here just looking to maybe duchy a couple times and have some royal carriages on the mat. I shouldn't need... I could, in theory, play 2 of these before I sell her. But I guess I'm just gonna play 1. The bad thing will be if I draw... No, I should probably do 2. I have 3 menageries in the bottom here, and then the dismantle. If I discard 3 and draw 3 menageries, it hurts my draw a little bit. So let's do it this way. This is like a extremely bad shuffle, which is kind of funny. But I mean, I can live with it. I can certainly live with it. I can double Dutchy here, fine. Does he still have an estate? Is that what his... Oh, I see. That's what his point thing is. None of these I'm gonna do. Oh, I didn't notice that I hadn't. Actually, we'll ask, but because this next set is not really something I want to leave on the but if he doesn't, it's fine. I don't really know. It's not. So here I have to wonder about what the best thing is. I think just another seller. Alright, this is a nice opening hand. This time I will just remember. Now it's the sellers that are getting in the way. I can double Dutchy here, but I can't triple Dutchy. That's not. I don't have enough draw for that. I don't think. Okay. I might be able to triple Dutchy actually. I don't know. What is he? He doesn't have anything. He didn't have any royal carriages on side. He didn't have any durations. This is also potentially a very, very bad actually it's just not. There's just no way for it to be bad. Like I can cellar again if I want to have a clean one. It's just a question of whether I think it's better to have a royal carriage on the mat or a green card on top. I think I would rather have that, though I'm not 100% sure. So I could either buy the last duchy and just be good that way. I guess it's more a question of how likely is it that I think I'll hit 8 in the next turn. It's not a bad chance that he would potentially call royal carriage on merchant ship and have a duchy next turn and if I buy the duchy now, he has to get both provinces to win, essentially. Where I can still crank out estates better. I don't really know. The province is the faster win for sure, and maybe better for some things. I don't know. And that maybe was just like a really bad play, but oh, he doesn't even have enough to buy a duchy. Okay. Now it's not as big a deal because I can buy an estate here. Eventually I'll have a turn where basically buying the estate means that I can stay a point ahead of him, more or less, and then eventually get menageries and cellars lined up and be pretty happy, I think. I don't know how many of my provinces I've seen. I guess I have 4 of them, so that's all. So I should be safe to discard 2 provinces here. And hopefully hit, well, I guess it should just be 1 province, right? I don't want to draw 2 duchies. When was my last shuffle? Okay, here. So there's 2 duchies and a province. There was a province. So there maybe are quite a few duchies left in here. So I think I only want to do 1 of these. This should be good enough to see enough of the deck with the cellars to province. Since I can see essentially the entire deck. I believe. Off 2 royal carriages here, I can see the whole deck. So we got to make dismantle work, which was, that undo is a little shady. I think maybe I still pull it off, but it certainly helped me a little bit to get further into the deck there and buy sell or whatever I bought. His first. Okay, so I don't think he'll do too much money here. I mean, he'd do some money because you want to buy. I don't know if Armory is going to be worth it or not. It's going to be a bit messy without trashing. Of course, you can pathfind something. That maybe inclines me to opening Armory a little more. I'm gonna buy a Sage, I think. Hamlets are a nice pathfinding target here. Hamlets are probably the best pathfinding target in terms of how quickly you can get a lot of them. If that's, if that's your consideration, they're easy to stack up tons of. Especially if somehow you get there and your opponent isn't contesting them. I think I'm gonna buy a Sage rather than a Silver, though the Silver is also good. Sacred Grove is maybe the fastest. Maybe Silver into Sacred Grove is the fastest way to hit 8. And so that may be problematic. I'm fine with having a second Armory. Having 2 though makes me a little less inclined to buy the Sage. So I don't mind having 2 Armories on a board with pathfinding. For sure. I mind them colliding a little bit, but I could have put a Sage on top. That wouldn't have been crazy. That might have been better than the tournament, to be honest. So if his things did collide, they didn't collide in too harmful of a way. Here I get a little 6. I don't mind taking a gold. I don't think. Now I hit Province, which is cool. Guide would be okay. I mean, I could Pathfind first, actually. Maybe I ought to Pathfind first. The Hamlets. See what he does with his messenger. So I have 9. Yeah, I'm certainly gonna Pathfind first. And just try and have about 30 of these Hamlets. I guess he'll province here. Well, he might. Anyway, he might pathfind himself. See what he does. Of course, there's just it's harder to block tournaments with these big decks we have. That's why I really hope he doesn't block mine, but he might. I guess he's gonna pathfind the tournaments, though he might do Lost Cities. It's better to play Hamlet here first in case we draw Armory. Then we can top deck a Hamlet and draw it. Since he's certainly not blocking. If we have a really, really nice turn, we might pick up 4 Hamlets here. Or so. So he's going with the tournaments, which seems reasonable. I don't need to discard for buy yet. I can make that choice later on. I guess. What do we got here? 7. That's pretty sad turn. He'll certainly have province here and some. So he may get a good lead on the I don't know if he may get all the prizes in a turn. Well, he doesn't quite have that kind of overdraw, but he has a fair amount. Of course, I can top deck a Hamlet here and so my draws didn't quite go the way I would have wanted them to, but that's life. So I still have 8 Hamlet Labs, which is good. Unfortunately, a few of them are down here at the bottom of the deck. So I think I would rather just have more draw, which could mean buying a Lost City. I just don't want to give him a card at this stage. If there's any sort of outside chance he doesn't draw a whole deck, which is, you know, of course unlikely. But oh, he didn't. See? It's always better. I suppose he'll top deck. Oh, he didn't discard. Oh yeah, that's also not a power messenger. It has. I was thinking messenger. This whole game I've been thinking messenger has scavenger power. Which it does not. I want to top deck a guide this turn. I guess we can go ahead and find out if he's blocking or not. He's not blocking. That's good. That means I'm gonna have like $12 or something like that. I mean, I really just want to leave the armories for the end, I think. Unless I'm at a point where there's a risk of me not drawing on, in which case I'll top deck a Hamlet. This looks pretty nice to me. That means I have a Hamlet and a copper on top, and so I'll top. I guess I really ideally wanted to draw the guide this turn. I didn't. I kind of screwed that up. Whatever. Too late now. I'm not gonna fix that. Oh, I had a silver. I forgot about my silver. Well, he's gonna win prizes, and maybe a lot. I did mean to get a guide onto my deck, but that's okay. That was just stupid of me. As long as I can maybe get well, he might take princess first. I'm gonna do my darndest to have province on top of my deck when I can. See, I'm so confused. Did it? Oh, I guess he drew it at the end of one of. I'm super confused, but whatever. I mean, okay, so we'll see if he gets the steed or what he gets here. Or I mean the princess, or if he gets the followers. He does get the followers. I can deal with followers, I think. So what I was trying to say is I'm going to try to figure out each turn if I draw a deck. He'll have a good deck for Silk Roads, though I will as well if I can get the princess. What I was going to say is that if I can top deck province, suddenly his deck is like considerably worse, right? Because he's got 5 of these tournaments with plus cards on them, which they'll still be cantrips, but they'll be much, much crappier. I don't know that that's going to be possible ever. This was a bit sad. I guess I could put a sage on top and potentially skip some garbage, including Hamlets. Okay, so the sage doesn't play quite so nicely with the okay, that's nice. I could get a second guide on top here. I don't hate that. Could have been more I guess I just don't literally have enough draw to make that happen. My dream, whatever my dream is. So, yeah, there's a problem there with the sages. I do have a Hamlet on top. Presumably he'll just get another prize here. I can of course buy a lot of estates on a turn if I want. You know, I didn't actually stop and look if I had a win there. Well, I would have had to take a lot of buys earlier. But I should in practice, I should be on the lookout for that kind of thing here. To be honest, it was pretty silly not to be looking out for that kind of pile out. It won't be the easiest thing in the world to do, but so you get this steed now. He might double province here, which will be a lot of points to try and come back from. Fortunately, in the two cards I drew, I did not manage to draw province. I should have been on the lookout though for that estate pile out from the beginning. I mean, I'm gonna toss this hand anyway, so but so you get a diadem now. It would be pretty pretty tough. I guess Dynamo's not a huge amount of money for him. It's going to be a little tough here. Because he's going to double province. Which is just so many points. I would need... I would basically need to like wipe out the Silk Roads and the estates. I don't have that kind of gains. I guess I technically do. Well, I mean, I don't have to. I have to wipe out like the Silk Roads in the province. Well, okay, I gotta stick with this hand even though it potentially is just garbage. I guess with a perfect draw, like if all my junk's at the bottom of the deck here, I have 9 Hamlets in deck, so I have 10 buys, and I could do two armory gains on Silk Roads. I could, then I would only need $8. So if everything is, if all of the garbage is bottom decked, then then it's possible. But I have to play for buy. I don't even know if I should keep a tournament around or not. He didn't discard with Messenger, which suggests to me, well, he had 3 provinces in deck. I had a lot of money in this opening hand too, is the actual problem. Or one of the actual problems. Like, I don't know if I have $8 left in the deck. Without tournaments. I don't think. Though I think playing this tournament is basically just a I think playing the tournament is essentially just a lost card. Man, this was a bad guide. Holy cow, this was a really bad guide. To have to play the guide on. I mean, I think I needed to do it, but shoot. That was an awful hand to have there. So much money. Yeah, okay, so the thing I said that was possible is just not possible at this point. So the question is, how many points do I score if I do max out getting estates and Silk Roads? Is it very much? Is it, who cares? I mean, he's just going to province on his next turn, so what does it matter? What is the situation? How much do I need to prioritize getting these estates versus saving some money for Silk Roads? When do I need to take some actions in order to be able to play both of these things? I only have one hamlet left. I did draw well on the hamlets, no denying that. So now we have province in the 5. That's helpful. Probably not helpful enough. So I will just leave it. I have 2 provinces, right? I bought a province last turn. Okay, so I can safely top deck this even if the tournament is blocked. Okay. I may be giving him in too easy of a pile out here, but at least his tournaments are just cantrips. That helps. We each only blocked on the very last turns of the games. Otherwise, the tournaments got to run free. If he can triple Silk Roads, then I just lose. Or if he can province, of course. I guess he just already has it in hand. He's going for it. He should know I have province. Well, that made his Silk Roads play a little harder. With the armory play, more or less made it impossible, actually. But the province, of course, is still possible. I guess he's not going to province because he's taking duchies. So I have a shot. Now I don't have a shot. Jeez. That's sad. Province, dang it. I'm sure he'll just have the province in hand this turn. He only gets me by a point, though, if he does that. Although he probably can score more than that. So 2 guys didn't quite cut it to get to the hand. I mean, The deck is like a lot of junk at that point. It's not that weird. Oh gosh. Holy cow. Okay. So now there is more hope. That's crazy. Though my deck is of course still garbage. Though there's gotta be, the Hamlins are all in here. Now I just get a better, I don't win yet, or I don't, wait. I wonder if I had this option last time. I do have it now. I can messenger the Silk Roads and win. I wonder if I had that ability. I wasn't thinking about messenger at all. So I probably on that big turn, well, I still wouldn't have had enough, but it should have been on my radar. And I wasn't thinking about it at all. Thankfully, I realized it there. Holy cow. So I was quite lucky that his very last turn, both that I got to block on his penultimate turn, and then that he didn't draw somehow on his next one. He did top deck a duchy for himself, which I don't think was helping him much. So I didn't look at how much my Silk Roads were worth there. But anyway, dominate works here. It's just a little weird. I guess you open Quarry Rays. You can dominate with a combination of lots of bazaars and rogues and watchtower. Capital is also okay in that direction. If you weren't going to try to dominate, you would need to rush those provinces down pretty fast with a replace. And you would get a little help with from battlefield on that front. Certainly. But I'm gonna say you wouldn't get enough help. It just takes so few dominates to outscore normal provinces, although they're a little better than normal provinces, right? They're like probably 8-point provinces, so they're a little harder to outscore, but I'm gonna still prepare for dominate. I could go watchtower quarry, but I'm gonna go with the raise. This raise was not particularly good, but the quarry was fine. He has a similar draw, possibly much worse. Well, it's okay even just to buy another raise or whatever. It's not that he has to do that, but I mean, if on his next turn he can't buy a 5, it's not the worst thing. What I don't know is whether I want to buy the rogue first or the bazaar first. Hitting expand would have been pretty nice for that would have taken quite a draw, but he just played his quarry. Okay, so in similar situations there. That was a very friendly rogue. I could top deck a watchtower. He's doing... He might hit my core here if he gets to his rogue. Yep. So that's gonna be rough. I don't really like the Fiatum. I mean, I understand. Maybe it's okay. Sure. I could buy an expand now. I'm pretty badly over terminaled. So maybe it's better to get the Bazaar. I don't mind being a little over terminaled in this deck. The Watchtowers, do a thing where you get, where you're not necessarily playing the Watchtowers for the action every turn. So they do something for you when they collide with your terminals, I guess is what I'm saying. I didn't really mean to. I wonder if he'll let me undo. I don't want that. I'll play it again when I put something in there that I want. But I do not want a Fiatum. Alright, so the key thing here the dominates may be a little hard to do. Depends on how many bazaars you have, really. So that should be our focus, I suppose, getting lots of bazaars. Yeesh. Yuck. I mean, I'll play the Watchtower in hopes that I draw a Corey off the 2 cards, but I mean, this could be a sad Watchtower. Well, I mean, it doesn't matter if I draw some stuff. This is nice, very nice hand. It takes like 2 dominates and this just does nothing. I don't get it. It looks just terrible to me. This next hand might be really sad. But so be it. Nope, it's okay. Do I want the row or the quarry? I do. I'm getting pretty thin. I don't want to run these piles too terribly low, and I don't exactly need a huge amount of stuff. He buys a province, okay. There's going to be a nice raise quarry combination we can do here. Raise rogue quarry combination, I suppose, would be the way to describe it. I really need to find a watchtower. This expand doesn't quite cut it at this point. Even though it's nice, of course. Alright, well, we didn't find the... Whew! That is some draw. Very bad. Anyway, I'm pretty close to dominating deck, I'd say. That is so sad. Well, he'll have a lot of fiefdoms. For sure. I'll have a lot of bazaars. Come on, show me a watchtower. This is going to be the same, well, not quite the same thing. Because there are villages this time, but... I gotta get rid of these coppers. We'll see. As long as the pile doesn't run, I think I'm okay. He is way ahead, though, for sure. And he can buy provinces. That's maybe the worst. The worst thing is that he's got an expand in the deck, and he can buy provinces, so that eats into my dominate stuff. But 3 dominates passes him. He buys a replace. Okay, that's fine. I mean, it's good, I think, probably for him. So I think I need another raise for sure. I guess the rogue thing is never an issue anyway, because I can always just top it, or I can always trash immediately whatever I whatever I gain with the rogues, right? If I need to. So it's not I mean, it's nice to use them for some stuff, but you buy a province, yeah, that seems like how that's going to go. Well, I'm not sure he's going to give us enough turns to make this work. I had a few bad draws. I think on average my thing is probably at least a turn faster, and maybe 2. I had some bad clustering. I don't know if I made that happen for myself, which is certainly possible. Does it? I'm not sure if it helps me or not to attack him, to be honest. This is fine. So now I just do this, dominate stuff for however many turns, and hope that he doesn't score very much on his turns. That's okay. I could live with that. I would like to expand for another watchtower, I think, or maybe another raise. Either of those would be good. That was a pretty friendly. I don't remember what my last card is now. It must be like a village or something reasonably good, so it would not be awful to be in a place to triple province next turn. Or to triple province some turn. These are a little better for the What is it? It's not a rogue. I mean, it must be a village of some sort. The 2 quarries are... I think he still has a quarry in his deck, so... Yeah, so here we need to look out for triple province. Which is enough. With dominate triple province, which is enough. It should be doable. Depending. We've got to expand some bazaars though. So we just need to make sure if we get that chance that we don't pass up on it. So we can expand 1 bazaar here. Right, that's enough. 12 plus 12, or 12 plus 15, is that what it is? 27 is enough. So best thing to raise would be a quarry, but raising now, this raise is fine. 2 bazaars, that's not great. It does mean there's a bazaar in the deck. Well, there's still plenty of bazaars in the deck, that's not. This should work out, I think. Just exactly. Well, that's nice. Yeah, I think dominate's gonna beat that most times. I think I did have, not every turn, obviously to string that together in the last turn in that sequence was fortunate. I do believe that I was a little slower than I would be on average. So part of that was how I built, I'm sure. I'm sure it could be built better. There's just too many dominate points. They don't have a clear way to end the game, so it's hard to... I mean, in theory, eating up enough provinces is a win for them, but I still would rather be more controlled if I was going to try to do that. I would rather still be building the... The other thing is you can test the engine. Like let's say you were going to rush provinces for battlefield points. So throughout the Fiat stuff, but let's say you weren't going to focus on dominate. You could make that maybe work because you can contest the bazaars so they have a hard time dominating. And you can do replaces and expands to mill provinces and get through that stack pretty quick. Anyway, here there's sort of a basic smithy village engine. So I'm going to open cobbler nothing. and there's some alt VP to play around with here between temple and gardens. So I'm not sure how that's going to exactly work out. But there's certainly plenty of stuff to play with here. We may get to a 3 pile here. I don't think you have a huge incentive to green early, so. I don't love the cobbler opening, but if I draw it soon enough, and I draw it with some money so I can buy a 4. Now, I don't mind buying a silver. That's fine. I would not like to pass again, but, well, maybe not a silver, maybe a plant, but maybe a silver. Smithy trade, like, terminal draw trade is okay money, but there's just too many points here. And once the engine's humming, you can score a lot with gardens really fast. It's easy. You can also score a lot with temple if you want. It's super easy. So, it's okay to maybe play like a mixture, a little bit of money-ish engine, but I don't love that either. But I would be thrilled to see him head for provinces quick. That would be, I would approve of that from my perspective. So, yeah, I don't know what his choice is here. He buys another smithy. That seems fine, I guess. I would have liked a plan, but that's alright. I'll get another cobbler. Okay, so he's not going to let me have all the engine pieces, unfortunately. It doesn't look like. He hasn't. Okay, there he gets a cobbler. I want a second cobbler, actually. It's a prelude to my match with Aku, which is going to be a cobbler cage match and will occur tomorrow. So he's got the minstrel now. Ooh, nice draw from me. I could get the festival actually here. Probably. Though maybe there's not much point to it yet. Somewhere we gotta figure out when we're gonna do temples. So this didn't quite pan out because I'll have to grab a minstrel. I would have preferred, of course, to have the minstrel in hand and gain a smithy, but that's okay. We're gonna have to gain a minstrel, and then hopefully it finds the smithy in the 3-4 cards it gets to look at, whatever. 4 cards, I guess, technical filter, kind of. He got a temple there. That's fine too. I'm feeling pretty good having the cobbler down each turn. So he is his deck is good too. Pretty similar quality, I'd say. Well, he has more smithies, so that's not a small thing. Though you can play with embassies here, though the silver is likely to be useful for them. Pretty likely to be useful for them. But I can probably catch up on the smithies so that it's at least 4, 6. That is one bad thing that we just saw, which is that the cobblers get tossed by the... I could certainly believe that we should have bought a plan by now or something. I could certainly believe that. Anyway, the cobblers get tossed by the minstrels, which is not great. Oh good, he just sort of whiffs there. This turn, well, should be okay, though there's gonna be... No, it's alright. Maybe it's alright. We'll find out. It is alright. Well, so far it's alright. He'll draw deck here. I guess we're all even on pieces except that I have a festival. And of course he's going. He has this turn. So I might pick up the temple on my turn with my buy. We'll have to see. Okay, we look good here. Not as good. Well, I mean, still fine, since we already have the stuff in hand. 8. Right. So the temple situation is sort of interesting. I could get a silver here. I don't want to fall behind on the building at the expense of getting some he has a silver, that's pretty nice. I can always cobbler for a silver. It's not really what you want to cobbler for, though. So if I buy silver temple, then the next turn I'll have the temples, of course, get in the way too. I could buy temple smithy. Gain a silver with cobbler. I'm not especially convinced that this is correct, but I'm gonna, wow, Okay, I can safely gain a silver here. With my cobbler. Probably trash Copper Estate and go Festival Smithy. There's more villages than draw, so it's, well, there's, I guess I just mean there's an abundance of villages, so. We will want to play with golds, of course. If he heads for provinces, I will build more. Like add multiple cobblers maybe, and I didn't know you had quite so many silvers. This is like a crazy lucky opening hand for me. I don't technically have enough actions to like play every temple, but I don't particularly intend to, so. You can actually score pretty well with temples on a board like this. It's not hard to match a province worth of points anyway, per turn. You only have to trash 3 things and buy a temple. But you can't do that for very long. But certainly you couldn't match like double province worth of points. That would be a little tougher. I suppose it would have been worth considering a trade at some point. I haven't really been thinking about that, but it could be the thing to do. For sure. Oh yeah, I do have enough actions to just play everything if I want to. So, well, that's, yeah, I mean, you could trade. So I could double Festival. What did he get? 2 golds. I guess I wasn't aware he was at quite that much money. I think I do. I gotta reconsider my stance of if he if he provinces that I build on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Because the deck is not that massive, but I guess it could be. No one has played with pillage, which is potentially nice. can't decide if the festivals or if I should double festival or get another cobbler. The cobblers kind of suck because you only play them every other turn. The festivals kind of suck because they're just $2, but I do have quite a number of coppers still. What did he gain with his cobbler? Oh, he didn't have it. Am I just gonna stick to my guns? Whew. That was close to being real scary. I probably, well, okay, so I have 14, but I really only need like 13 or something. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 22 cards. Can we get to 40 before the end of the game? Probably not. So, 13 could be... Wait, what do I have? 14 could be... That's too much. 14 could be Festival Smithy, which is not awful. That just gets us to 18 though, which is not quite enough compared to what we would like. I don't have any special confidence in what I'm doing. And look, here we've already dudded. I mean, we haven't guaranteed dudded, but we probably dudded. I mean, it's an okay dud as far as duds go, but well, depends on who you ask. Not ideal. Not ideal at all. So if I hadn't dudded there, I would have been moving into, well, I would have been buying a lot more than 2 gardens, but you know, you play these big sloppy decks like this, it's just what happens. I don't think I have enough money to empty the gardens, unfortunately. I'll probably draw the deck here since I already have all the smithies. Maybe not though. I was overdrawing some, so. Presumably, I just won't get another turn though. But if he duds somehow, interesting. I mean, I guess that's to my advantage, to be honest. That course of action. He only has well, we shall see. So we don't draw at all, but we only leave a couple. 22, huh? I don't know that 6 of the gardens would have really done it anyway. Maybe, well, he can gain a silver, right? He can get back to double province. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 11, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 28, 29. So I'm at 29 cards. I can certainly break 40 if I draw. That's not a problem. If I draw is the problem. He could dud. I mean, he's got enough green cards and stuff. He's not gonna, but he could. The cobblers can't help him except to get points or like a silver. I will probably dud, but I'm not very good at math either because I thought I had 22. Okay. I could give him the silver, then he doesn't even need to. He can get 3 gardens, which takes away a lot of my scoring opportunities. Do I buy the coppers now? Does that matter? if I'm going to gain, I mean, I'm not going to get to 50, right? I said I was at 29, I think. So I'm at 33. I mean, if I draw, I'll gain 7 cards for sure. May want to be able to temple, though. Which I think I still can. Right, 1, 2, 5, 6 buys means 8 gains next turn. If I did gain 4 here, then it's alright to not buy the coppers. Now I have to count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 15, 16, 24. 25, 26, 27, 28. No, it's 28. So if I do want to play the temple, will that margin ever matter? Guess it's not very likely to, but yeah, we just don't even draw, so it doesn't matter. It wasn't gonna matter unless I could draw. He was never gonna do nothing also, like he wasn't gonna leave. I don't think there were gonna be enough points for me. Ever. Like this hand, if it's a dud, it surely has a province buy in it, so it's just not. I'm just way too far behind. He had to have a total dud, more or less. I don't even think if he had bought nothing and just got the gardens off this cobbler, I don't think that would have been sufficient for me. Whew. Just the deck is too big. Somewhere, I mean, I kind of felt like I had to go into what I did after he was ahead in the money. Somewhere around the point where he got to 16, a turn before I was going to be able to, is where I kind of lost it. But the I would say is where I lost it. I think, okay, so he doesn't have that. I mean, I'm still totally lost, right, unless I win this turn. I mean, I just don't have... Like, it was just never going to happen unless I had drawn there. If it had, I don't know if I would have got there. I mean, if I had drawn deck there, I would have got it, I think. I would have gotten 6 more points from the gardens going up. And I could have bought a couple provinces, which would have been like a 1-point win. But I would have needed to have this starting hand. But yeah, I mean, I would have made it if I hadn't had a dud. I don't think I can play for another dud from him, although maybe. It seems tough. It seems tough. I think that was my only out, was having Embassy or Smithy on top there. Not to mention I would have needed to have, of course, more Smithies coming along the line. It wasn't like if I found one Smithy I was guaranteed to draw the deck or anything. There was nothing that nice going on. So Dan and I played some games with Bard yesterday where we were both auto buying Bards on our opens. It was kind of interesting. I don't think it's very good, but yeah, way too much Alt VP to just skip the. I don't know what the opening is though. I mean, you don't really care too much about this other stuff until you have your champion. There's not a great way to accelerate the champion. I mean, Bard is the only thing on here that would actually help you get to champion faster. It's the only thing that can really do that. I'll buy Bard, why not? Other than that, everything else is just, good cards, but I'm not gonna. So then there's a question of whether to get the Ranger already. I will. I mean, the Bard can do these. There's at least 3 boons that can help your acceleration, and I guess 1 that's going to technically slow it down. And I don't always remember all the boons. Wisp is potential acceleration, so that'll count. I'm thinking of the top deck from discard. Discard off top of deck, Wisp, and Trashing should help you accelerate. And I don't remember if there are any others that are useful for that. Just the, discard Treasure for 4 is just kind of generically nice almost all the time. Silver is not doing so much. I don't really know all the boons. But this is just, it's just nice. It'll help me get more Rangers or more 4s, whatever they happen to be. And so I guess I want a second page. Menagerie is not very likely to hit, but it could. Every time I do this, I forget. I'm gonna have to. Someone should at me on Discord after this match and tell me to change my autoplay options for the Travelers, because I don't like the defaults at all. I don't think they're bad or anything. I just don't want them. I'd rather make that choice. So I can't play the Ranger here. That'll make my Treasure Hunter is missing anyway, but it doesn't really help me. I may play the Ranger here to cycle a little bit faster. This is not going to be my favorite Treasure Hunter ever, but I guess I'm going to play it. First Aqueduct is going to be pretty good. I don't really know what I'm doing here except to try and get buy a lot of Rangers and hopefully not be too slow on getting my champion up. I don't hate these silvers, but I don't love them. Potentially you can orchard every single traveler and champion, though it's not very likely. And I guess in theory Wisp as well. His deck is going to be a little more compact than mine, with the mine for his money. That wasn't great. It may be worth it to have another page. I'm almost taking, there we go, that's nice. I mean, this can happen with Menagerie when you have enough just garbage. Sometimes you get lucky. That's pretty sad. He's moving to his warriors pretty quick, or his well, I mean, I had a whatchamacallit miss. I had my my treasure hunter missed. That is one disappointing aspect of the page games, is that bottom decking a traveler is very painful. See how many cards he gains here, whether I want this treasure hunter or not. Just one. So I think I'm okay with this. That part I'm not so thrilled with. This is really awesome hand, like a way better than I deserve hand. There's at least some chance of activating the Menagerie twice. Not very high, but... And then I get to do the Ranger, which is awesome. So... He might take the... It's not crazy to take the province if you have the $8. He might take it here. It's a lot of points. So... I would do it if I had $8 here, which he must, right, with 3 coin tokens. Like, there's almost no way he doesn't. And with the mines, he's got to have way more than 8. I would think. My only hope is to catch up on this big Ranger lead. Like, that's my only shot. But like, the deck is big and messy, so there's no guarantees I have good draw at all once I even get to the champion. That's assuming this hero is like not bottom decked and that the champion doesn't hide as well. So we'll see what he does here. I would think pretty hard about taking that province. So he doesn't, which means I will probably get a shot at it on my turn. I'm not going to activate again, so might as well play this. So the hero did hide at least bottom 9. That was a very lucky turn though, all the same. It's a question of whether I want to get the Rangers ready. I still have 8, so I can still buy the province. Or play the Bard. Well, the Bard has potential to hurt me, so let's go with the safe thing here. Yeah, the hero did hide, so that may seal it for me. I mean, if you have two of your stages bottom deck, it's not really very easy to win. Unless I just draw really luckily. I have a nice points lead, so I at least have time in that sense. I'll buy a plaza here. The deck isn't incapable of buying provinces, I guess, on its own. So that's nice. It's not very good at it, but it's not incapable of it. But it's still a rough position. Yeah, I mean, if the hero hadn't hit, I would feel okay about my shot. With the hero hiding and this champ, I guess his champion came out a little later in the shuffle for him. Yeah, it's just he's gonna be able to double province pretty well. I don't think it's gonna pan out for me. I don't know how many times he got to play the mine over the course of the game, but he's got more money, and so he'll make up this current points difference pretty quickly. I have to get through 24 cards, which is going to take me like 4 turns at least, 4 or 5. And then I have to get to wherever the champion is. So it's just, this one is pretty lost cause. He may not even green right away. He may really push this Plaza Menagerie stuff more. I mean, that's not like the greatest thing ever, but yeah, this will be tough. And by tough, I mean impossible. I'm gonna buy a plaza, I guess. I mean, given that I apparently am exhibiting a willingness to buy plazas, I probably should have started with those rather than so many rangers. I mean, I wanted the rangers for a reason, which is that if you win that split and you get your champion up on time, then you're in a real good position. Since I didn't do the second thing, I'm in a kind of real bad position. I can, of course, just try and stay up on points. I can buy duchies. That's not really staying up on points, but we'll see if he's gonna build or what. I thought he had more menageries. He must. Oh, he must have discarded one with that. So he is building, which is, I think, perfectly reasonable. I don't have any chance here. I guess he... Man, I hope this mine doesn't let him activate a menagerie. It does. Man. Dang it. Son of a gun. That's cute, though. So the I guess he's using the horse traders to activate the menageries. Kind of. I've got a I've got a plaza I can get to points. I mean, presumably, I hope I don't draw a copper here. Presumably, I'll be able to get he may just have a pile out is kind of a scary thing. Presumably I'll be able to get them pages up to Orchard and maybe Market Squares or something. I'm not in love with going for the horse traders when he did, but maybe it's okay. It looks like he'll draw pretty well here. I guess one consideration is how bad is he going to make his reshuffle. I would be a little worried about that. I don't know, maybe he has enough draw to get through it, but I would be worried I just gave myself a somewhat bad shuffle. And by somewhat bad, I mean like maybe nightmarish. But maybe he didn't. If he activates another menagerie or something, it's not too bad. I didn't even win the Ranger split. I thought I won the Ranger split. Well, never mind. He'll have a pile out his next turn, unless I score some points. He'll probably have a pile out next turn regardless. So he could pile now. I don't know if that's enough. Maybe he may just have a win. Not if he already has the page menagerie stuff. Then he was short a little bit. I think he wanted to double province there. This would take 18 to empty. So that's not quite in the cards. And he doesn't... Well, he has the money for it. He has 22. It just doesn't... I think he already has both those, so it doesn't score him any points. And he can empty the estates, I guess, but that's not... doesn't give him a 3 pile. He's basically short a buy. He has the money for the estate menagerie emptying, but not a buy. And he has the money and the buys for page menagerie, but then he loses because then he only has $4 left, and that's not enough to overtake me. But he can just use one token and, Well, his next turn might be duddy. Maybe not, though. There's a menagerie in there and presumably a mine, but... Well, it might be duddy. I don't know. So, my turn is pretty okay, I guess. Unless I draw copper and then I just cry endlessly. I'm still not gonna make it... Like, my champion has to... When I first shuffle, I have to draw the champion immediately. With, like, all the rangers. Unfortunately, I mean, I have some orchard plays I can make. I can probably finish the pages this turn, but then that makes his pile out a little easier. Of course, if he draws, he'll pile out anyway. I imagine he's just looking for a win, but I'm pretty sure there's not one. Which means it's fine to just do that and then win next time you draw the deck. Whenever that happens to be. Maybe next turn, maybe... God. That's not... Oh my gosh. It's not very likely. Oh well. I don't know why I'm like grumbling like I was already lost. It didn't matter that I didn't fire off that turn. It was already not happening. Alright, so we get one more. I guess you can urchin mountebank open. I suppose that's what I'll do. 3-4 is nice for that. Oh, you got Baker. You don't even have to borrow for it. That's interesting. So... yeah, it's certainly worth building up. I mean, look at the board. But, I don't know if you... I think you still open mountebank. On your reshuffle, take urchins and heralds, I guess, if you can afford whatever. I wouldn't go for the second mountebank unless I felt like I was way ahead. 5-2 is fine. You still just do the same thing, I think. I'll cry if he matched them. Yeah, I could get another mountebank, but I don't think I want one. I think I'd rather have the urchin. I guess I can think about whether I'd like to save the urchin for buying it. I don't know if I want a third urchin or if I want to start on heralds now. It's actually kind of nice that the urchin misses. It may be better to have a third urchin first than the heralds. I could believe that easily. He gets a second mountebank, so I don't really like that. I hope he has a mountebank. I'm probably gonna turn the autoplay off there as well. Unless I activate here, this is kind of a cruddy turn. I'm not sure if I'll borrow. I'm not sure that I want to crossroads. Not sure. I mean, the second mounted bank is fine. They're good for buying heralds and highways or whatever you want to buy. They're just not good for trashing, which is what I hope to be doing eventually. I hate the gold. I hate it. This was so lucky, but I hate the gold. It's a lucky draw for me. I hate the gold so much. I didn't get to give him anything there, which is sad. I do get to overpay here, which is not sad. What is the gold for? I don't know. Why would you buy gold with all these beautiful actions? I've been super... He must have his mountebank, right? No, he just collided. This is sad, of course, but fine. I guess the gold does let you overpay well. That's pretty nice. I won't talk smack on the gold so much, but so he just did one. I thought he had already bought a herald, so why wouldn't you do both? I don't quite follow that, but hey, look at that. I am sort of slowing my descent here through the deck. But I do have a lot of heralds, which maybe will pay off and maybe will not. I don't know. That was a really nice herald for him. Nice enough for me to cry. I don't know why I discard him out of it. I'm very optimistic that my herald's gonna find a mercenary. That's pretty nice. Alright, well I guess optimism pays off. Do we want the third mercenary? We do have... Oh, I guess I don't have the option to get it anyway. So I could top deck the mountebank. Maybe the best thing to top deck would be like a curse, but I don't think I have one in there. I don't really want to top deck the mountebank, to be honest. He bought a province. That's super weird. I'm gonna need an herbalist. Does he think the piles will run? I guess. That was really nice, Harold. I guess the piles could run. This is going to be painful, I believe. He's going to play the other mountebank. Yes, no, maybe. Didn't get to trash it all there. I can't decide if a mining village is good or if I should start on these highways now. This is a little sad. Maybe he doesn't have a good trashing. He does. He's gonna play mountebank, but I'm gonna just take it because I don't really have another choice. Oh, this is troubling. I wish his heralds would do a little worse. There we go. Now I absolutely need to find the mercenaries. Probably I want another one, right? This is still a pretty bad shuffle, if my understanding of what these last 7 cards is correct. I need a way to what's the word I'm looking for? Discard my deck. I think there's even like a crossroads in there, which is absolute garbage. Jeez. Yeah. That seems about right. Here he'll get another province. This is not gonna work. I'll need so many duchies. I mean, that cross, I can get through the green, I guess. It's just the turns. And also, Well, a million things. It's a million things. Like, there are 4 treasures in here, and the Herald's gonna hit them right now. I think there's only 4 in there. Or 2. I don't know. He has to have his gold, right? I mean, he has to have the province. What does he think he's gonna do instead of buy province? Does he think he's gonna run the urchins? That would not work. Is he gonna trash his province? I guess that makes sense. No, I don't think so. It extends the length of the game. Maybe he didn't have the money. I mean, that's of course reasonable. This was really bad. Oh, I shouldn't have. Why did I play the mountebank? Oh, I had to. Yeah, I was. This doesn't really get me much closer to anything. Well, it cleans me up a little bit. I can live with him hitting me with mountebanks. That I can deal with. Him hitting with mercenaries is a little worse. I think depends on this next turn. So we'll see. It won't be easy. I want to reduce the number of mercenaries I'm playing to 1, I guess, a turn. I think I'd be pretty happy if he bought a duchy. Baker, I think I agree with. Pretty good heralds. I don't know where I'm sitting at with this turn. I feel like I'm gonna need to get basically all the duchies to win. But maybe not. I mean, I can go province duchy now. It's just a little iffy. Well, I guess I make these miss. I've got to attack him. And I can buy another herbalist. Oh, this is so tough. The deck's still so fat.
buys a crossroads. That seems reasonable. We might make it through here. The deck, that is. Well, we did get clean. I suppose these just have to be fort duchies. I mean, one could be a province, because if he buys another province, that's like half VP. Not that this works either, I don't think. Does well, it would, I mean. I don't have the money though, right? Well, I can blow up the mining village. Oh, I have $5. Yeah, I could still have the money. If I draw. If he doesn't just buy it. Well, that's a good start. That looks pretty good. I mean, I could still whiff here pretty badly, but it's at least in range now. Just have to hope for the best from the heralds. I mean, there aren't a lot of non-actions in the deck. The estate doesn't really matter because 12 points still wins, and that's my most likely thing. I wish there was a little green in this part of the deck, of course, but that was pretty good. That's pretty good. Well, I should stop and see if we just have it. Well, we don't have enough for the... Or do we? With a borrow? Let's count it out. I just need 3 buys. So I have to play Mountebank 2 Herbalists, which would get me to I guess I also can consider a tie. Mountebank 2 Herbalist gets me to $7 total with the borrow, which is enough for Province Duchy Estate, but doesn't cut it on the rest. So I gotta play the Mercenary, and I either have to trash Mountebank Duchy to save a buy, or I need to trash an Herbalist because I'll need both the buys, right? 12 works. I would just have to somehow get to more, well, I'll need less money hopefully, because hopefully I'll need less money. I think it's got to be Mountebank Herbalist on this trash here, which could still totally dunk, but did not. So now we should check again that a mercenary trash here doesn't finish it. I haven't gotten the last highway yet, so but it would give me $8, $9, right? Which is enough. So I need to do this. All right, well, I think his ritual was quite bad because it extends the game. I don't have too much complaints about. I don't really like the early greening, but I mean, it worked out okay for him, excepting that he didn't really stay committed to it by taking the ritual. Like it just gives me an extra turn, which isn't very bad for him. So that's my main complaint about the way he played that game. Early greening I don't love. Why not build? I mean, if you're ahead, which he was in junking, why not build? But anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all around.